somewhere along the line, I have smashed into a wall. I was doing so well last week. I created 2 videos and put them online, and I did some kind of movement every morning, except I think the 2 mornings we went out really early. And I reduced my screen time right down and I was chugging along, and then I hit a wall. And now the other day I created a video when I really didn't want to. And this morning I was thinking, I really do not want to create a video. So I thought, okay, I'm going to create a video and I'm going to talk about what's going on, because I think this happens for a lot of people. I'm sure I'm not the only one that is trying to build a channel on YouTube. You start creating the video, and then a couple of days later, you've got 3 views, 4 views, maybe 7 views, 10 views. And then you start to, and then that part for me comes up that says, no one cares, right? No one, you don't have any friends because no one cares. The people that you know never call you because no one cares. Your family doesn't like you because they don't care. And all of this just projects out into the world, where I move about genuinely believing no one cares. And then there is this example out in the world that proves no one cares. And it makes it really hard to keep moving forward, creating content, whether it's for myself or whether it's for someone who might learn something. It's really hard moving forward, creating content, when you have just this constant voice inside of you saying, no one cares. No one cares. And then the external world proves that no one cares. And whether that's my actions that are actually helping reinforce that or validate that. So, for instance, I was thinking the other day, I was watching all of these different YouTube videos thinking, man, I don't think I could ever edit something for that long. I do not feel like I have the capacity to sit for 3 hours and edit a video. It's really hard for me to do something like that, so I don't do it. But then if I put my videos up unedited, they don't get any traction and they don't get any views, because I'm competing against all of these people that have all of these incredible videos that are, some of them paying people to edit them. Other people are just video editors, so they can do the editing themselves. And it's really challenging. Or some people have the money to be able to buy the software to create the editing that they want to create. And if you do not have any of those things and you are pushing against parts inside of you that are constantly reminding you that nobody cares about you, so no one's going to watch your videos anyway because nobody cares, and then you're pushing against this part that is trying to move about in a world that has such high standards. And when I look at these videos, even from some of the new YouTubers, when I sit back and I watch their videos and I think, wow, even these people that are only just starting out are doing massive editing of their videos. And it's a real challenge. And so I am working on the solution and feeling the feelings, and also realizing, because then I thought, okay, well, maybe I should go and get a job. Maybe I should go and get a job. And then I thought, oh, and then I heard, but you don't want to get a job. It's like, no, I don't want to get a job. I don't want to do YouTube videos. I do not want to edit the YouTube videos. I don't want to do much of anything. And then this rational, logical part comes in and goes, well, if you don't want to do anything, how are you going to earn money? Hey, how does that happen? And I thought, this is, Tani, you can't go there, honey. No, you can't go there. Soxy's there. Oh, gosh almighty. So a normal person would edit that out of their videos. I'll just move the keyboard so she doesn't stand on it. A normal person would edit that out and edit out the pauses and edit out the ums and edit out the moments where they're thinking. However, me, I look at it and I think, but videos are so, they're so edited, they're so flashy. They've got just this constant stream of jumping when someone has their hands up and then all of a sudden their hands are gone. And I watch these videos and I think, why not just leave the moment? Do we live in a world where we're so scared of a moment's silence, or we're so scared of making a mistake, or we're so scared of not looking perfect that we have to edit the bejesus out of our videos so people that are watching them that that are also scared of mistakes and pauses and silence and need for perfection will accept our videos and watch them. I am not sure I can move about that world. I'm not sure I can edit videos to that extent where I am not myself. And I remember I was on someone else's podcast, and every time she would ask me a question, and then every time if she said an or a but or a pause, she would actually say, pause, scratch that, start again. And then she would repeat the sentence. And sometimes she would repeat the sentence 4 times. And I found that so challenging to think that somebody moves about in the world that is so, this is my personal perspective of what I'm seeing, and I could be completely wrong. But someone's moving about the world feeling so scared of imperfection that they have to cut the bejesus out of their podcast whenever they say at and but. And I'm just not sure that I want to create YouTube videos in that environment. But if I do not create YouTube videos in that environment, then my videos don't get watched. And I've been watching all of these videos from all of these YouTube apparent experts. I mean, some of them are creating videos from never having a channel and saying this is what you have to do on YouTube. So I'm not sure how that deems them an expert. However, I'm watching all of these videos on what's recommended. And they're talking about writing scripts, and you write out your script. And then when you write out your script, read it. And then if it takes more than, say, 5 minutes to read it, then cut big sections out so you're not rambling. And so that puts another pressure on, because all of a sudden, not only am I expected to sit for, let's say, an hour and write a script, then I need to completely change my whole room so the computer is sitting behind the camera. And then I need to learn how to read a script. But then I'm reading off camera. And then when I watch people who are reading scripts and they're slightly off camera, I find it really disorientating. I feel like they're not talking to me. Because they're doing this and they're looking at something, even if it's right there, they're still not looking right at the camera. They're looking there. And you can see that their eyes are just moving a little bit. And then they obviously they read a small section, and then they pause the video, and then they scroll down to the next section, then they read the next section as they're looking up here. And I find it really hard watching those channels. And then there are other people that I watch who simply talk into a camera. And I much prefer that. I find it a lot more natural. However, they are editing out their pauses while they're thinking, and they're gaining their thoughts. So they would have cut that out where they said there. They would have cut that out. And I don't know. I feel as if I am moving in a world that just does not want me in it, does not want my style of channel, does not want my style of communication or my style of being. And this is not a new thing. This goes all the way back to my family, where I live in a family where I was not wanted. I'm 100% sure that I was an accident. I was a Valentine's accident. I'm pretty sure I was not wanted. And so I move about the world believing, because that's my upbringing, that I'm not wanted. And when you move about the world with that kind of feeling all the time, then what you're receiving are examples where you're not wanted. And it's such a challenge. It is such a challenge. I want to create a YouTube channel and I want to be able to help people through their trauma, and I want to be able to help people see why they're living the life that they're living and why their external world is the way that it is and why reality is perfectly in harmony with who you are on the inside. However, the way I have to do it goes completely against who I am as a person. But then I look and I think, okay, well, does it go completely against who I am as a person, or does it go completely against the story that I hold and the story that I have about who I am as a person? So could I spend 3 hours editing the video so it has this perfect aspect to it? Maybe, probably, yes. Could I buy a program so I can do all of the fancy editing with all the typing and everything that goes over the top of me recording in different elements? Probably, yes. Do I want to? No. But do I not want to do it because it's a pattern? And is this my way of holding myself back? Is this my way of sabotaging my success and my creation by listening to that part that says, yeah, but I don't want to do that? That means people aren't accepting who I am. That means people don't care about who I am. So I already know people don't care about who I am. So all I'm doing is just recreating that exact example that is the manifestation of my life. And that is the battle that I think a lot of us come up against, is knowing, is it me? Is it you? Is it you that is thinking this, or is it the pattern that is thinking this? Are you really the one that does not want to create YouTube videos in the way that they need to be created? Or is it a pattern that does not want to create YouTube videos in the way that they need to be created? And I guess that's the challenge. And that's where I think this week, that's where my work comes in, is looking and going, okay, if this is a pattern, then how can I move past the pattern? What can I do with the pattern so I can create a successful YouTube channel instead of moving about the world failing and helping me fail because I'm listening to these patterns that are completely programmed into failure? So that is kind of the challenge that I wanted to talk about this morning, that I'm really battling with, is that just constant, and it is fueled by that constant belief that I am just a failure and I am destined to fail and everything I do fails. So why am I even bothering when I know the outcome is going to be failure? So happy days. Here we go. Rock and roll. Um, I feel like I've been at this YouTube thing for a while. I think I started this channel maybe 20 years ago. So I have been at this YouTube thing for a while. I have been failing for 20 years, although I haven't been creating videos consistently for 20 years. I feel like if I had been doing that, then I would probably be further than I am right now. No, I didn't do that. The first time around when I started to gain momentum and success, I pulled everything down because that made sense. And then the second time, and then I left it, actually. I didn't do anything with my YouTube channel for over 10 years. It just sat there. And I'd pulled down all the videos. So even if I had left all the videos up, maybe over time they would have just naturally gained momentum. No, I didn't do that. I pulled everything down. And so now here I am again with my YouTube channel trying to create something, looking back at that, going, well, it didn't work last time. It's probably not going to work this time. Trying to remind myself that I actually sabotaged it all by myself. It didn't work because I pulled it down, not because it didn't work. So yeah, happy days. That's where I'm at. Um, Yeah, see, I should probably edit that out, but I don't want to. I don't want to edit out my ums. I am who I am, and I'm taking a minute to go, where do I go next? I don't know how to end this video. I am not structured. I'm not streamlined. I am not perfect. I am not a factory line. I am a human being with flaws. And if the world doesn't like me, then so be it. That's kind of where I want to go with that. But then I have to look and go, yes, but is your if the world doesn't like me, then so be it mentality a pattern, or is it true? Because you want the world to like you. You want people to like you. You want friends. You want people to watch your channel and go, hey, this was amazing. Thanks so much for sharing. It actually makes so much sense that this is why my channel is failing, because I'm sabotaging myself up the wazoo. Anywho, um, I think that's it for the day. I'm going to go and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe have breakfast. I've not had breakfast yet. I am going to go have breakfast. I hope you're having a lovely day or a lovely evening or a lovely afternoon wherever you are in the world. And yeah, I was going to do something else for this video, but here we are. I'm doing this. So if you are tuning in for the video I did last week for this time's video on trust, that will be next time's video. Anyway, have a lovely day. Bye.